Okay. This is really the last lesson. You get right down to it. Not the last video, just the last week, I guess. All right, so we are picking up with, well, what you should have watched the videos, and I think you did. The Professor Day ones are pretty clear. The other ones are just, there's a lot in them. So you may want to finish with those. But enantiomers are, there's only one twin of the other one, and they're like so. They've got a chirality center. I've been calling them chiral centers because that's the way I learned it. If you go back here in the book, they're supposed to be called, according to IUPAC in 1996, chirality centers. Well, I learned it long before 1996. I got to teach myself to say chirality center rather than chiral center. On the last set of videos, I called them chiral centers the whole way through. All right, anyway. So you probably read that and had no problem with it. They show that the top, they show 3 ways to do this. There's really 6, because you could put a mirror behind, and if you could figure out how to do it, a mirror in front. You could have a mirror to the right and a mirror to the left, and a mirror above and a mirror below. The above-below is easier, but with bicyclic compounds, you don't end up with the right thing. So I always just have done right-left mirror. So that's what I'm going to do on these solutions. You may have done a different one. So at least you can see my right-left mirrors. And one of the advantages to doing a right-left is you don't have to worry about doing it different ways if you have bicyclic. So if I made a mistake here, let me know. This is albuterol. It's a bronchodilator, treatment of asthma. So when you breathe air into the lungs, it kind of goes down this way. And this is the trachea. Down in here, these bronchi, they swell up. It's an allergic response. And they close off. Well, bronchodilator is supposed to open those up, relax that allergic response, and cut down on mucus. That's what a bronchodilator is. It makes those holes bigger again. And when I got the left-right enantiomer for that one, this is what I get. I just put it down there and redrew it. There's not much to show you on a tip on that one. The next one, propranolol, is a beta blocker used in the treatment of hypertension. Hypertension is high blood pressure. So this is a high blood pressure medication. Nothing special about drawing this one backwards. You just, I put the dotted line down there. I suppose I learned it that way. And you just work your way over backwards. So these two aren't too tough to do. The next one, C, is oxybutynin. I think the easy way for me to start this, and these take some practice or some cheats, is I made sure I went and drew this part, and then up here this part, and the rest of it. Well, actually on this one I started left to right, but when I did the enantiomer of it, I drew the 6-sided figures here and here first, and then connected the rest of it. Now, how I do these differently is in the book, when they draw these OHs, and I've told you this before, they put a dashed line there, but for whatever reason, this one's coming towards you, it should be getting bigger. The other one really ought to be getting smaller, so the dashed line should start longer here and get shorter going back into the page. That's the way I draw them. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe IUPAC didn't make this standard back in 1996. So be aware of that. I haven't seen that. Okay, so if you draw those, and the way I do those, by the way, when you have the double bonds, is I go ahead and draw all the 6 figures in. And then when I go back to do it, then I make sure I draw the second line. So this is forward here, this is forward, OH is back in, OH is back in. The rest of it's pretty simple, I think. Then adrenaline, it's a bronchodilator. So anything that dilates makes this hole larger. So you're probably familiar with some of the other effects of adrenaline, you know, and make your pupils constricted, you know, make you feel nervous, nauseated. There's no such word as nauseous. It's nauseated. No such word as complected. It's complexioned. Anyway, it also would change how your kidneys are functioning, but it also opens up your airway. Your nostrils would flare, everything in your airway, all the way down. It's also another bronchodilator. If somebody's having, you see this in the TV shows, the ER type movies, TV shows, where they'll give somebody a shot of adrenaline if they're having heart trouble, maybe. So anyway, where'd I go on that one? Is that what this one is? Okay, so I drew this one left to right. Made my mirror go this way, and I just drew it left to right backwards. So that one was actually pretty easy. The next one is ketamine and anesthetic. It's not right. You can tell that. There's a missing part of it. There's a double bond with an O up here. So what I was doing was focusing on drawing my hexagons. When I got those in, draw my double bonds in there. N goes back into the page, so I'm starting with the longer lines and going to shorter. That's just the way I do it. Here, it's coming towards you. H out here, and this is I think a methyl group down here. That's the way it should look. So don't forget that. It looks like it could just be, you know, a line, but I think it's actually part of the molecule. So over here, I have to have an OH, or an O I meant up there. And I think I'd start with the 6-sided figures there on that one. F, nicotine. I drew the 6-sided figure with the N in it. I forgot to put the N in over here, and then worked my way up. Over here, I think I started with this 5-sided figure and then worked my way down. This ended up being bigger than that, so I can't draw them to scale and accurately both. This is just drawing exercise, takes practice is all. And again, I'm going longer lines to shorter to show it going back into the page in both cases. G. I think I skipped G. Oh well, let's just do it live then. Let's try G over here. It's been a while since I've drawn a bicyclic compound. Okay, OH is down, H is up. So what we have to do to draw that one in reverse, I'm probably going to start here, because that part's not going to be different. Let's go out this way, and we'll take OH down. Whoops, OH. I need to put the O underneath of, or the H underneath of it. H this way, and then we'll angle towards off of here. There we go, and then check down, and then up to here, and down to here, like so. I think that's it. Okay, and the last one is ixabepilone, looks like. The way I did that one is I drew this kind of middle structure first, and then I started tacking all that crap on there. So I basically went and did the top of it. Looks like a double barn. Went up. Okay. And then I started down around where I have, you know, most of one of a hexagon. Okay, and then it was down, up. Try to make these all the same size. And when I end here, I'm somewhere down under here, and then it's up and across. Not too bad. So I draw that thing first, and then I draw this stuff off of it, and then all the other stuff. And I think when I went to the other side, the nice thing about it, if you do it that way, is that kind of core structure that looks like a couple of barns with hexagons off the bottom. That part's the same, forward, backward, left, and right. The only thing you gotta watch is make sure when you get to the far corner, you put the N here, that it goes over here. And then once you do that, everything that's backwards is no problem.